The village beneath the sleeping hills. Far beyond the noisy cities and the crowded roads, hidden between rolling green hills and a forest older than memory, there was a village called Alderwyn. The people of Alderwyn believed in simple things: warm bread in the morning, laughter by the fireplace at night, and the soft glow of lanterns that lit the narrow cobbled streets. But there was one thing they did not believe in anymore: magic. Long ago, the elders would speak of a light that once protected the village, a gentle glow that lived in the heart of the forest. They called it the Hollow Light. It shimmered like moonlight and hummed like distant wind chimes. It kept storms gentle, winters mild, and hearts kind. But as years passed and crops failed and storms grew stronger, the villagers decided it had all been nothing more than stories for children. All except one. A quiet 12-year-old girl named Mira Rowan still believed. Mira had silver-flecked brown eyes and a habit of listening more than speaking. She loved the forest. While other children raced through the fields, she walked beneath the trees, tracing the bark with her fingers, whispering small greetings to birds and foxes. Her grandmother used to tell her, "The hollow light is not gone. It waits for someone who remembers how to listen." Mira had never forgotten those words. The storm that should not have come. One autumn evening, the sky darkened far too quickly. Clouds rolled over the hills like great waves of smoke. The wind howled with a sharpness the village had never known. Windows rattled. Doors slammed. The lantern flames flickered violently. "This is no ordinary storm," old Baker Tom muttered. Rain fell in sheets. Thunder shook the earth. And at the edge of the forest, something deeper than thunder echoed, a hollow, trembling sound, as if the earth itself had sighed. Mira stood at her window, heart pounding. She knew that sound. The forest was calling. Before fear could convince her otherwise, she pulled on her cloak and slipped outside. The rain soaked her hair, but she pressed forward toward the trees. With every step, the wind seemed to push harder, as though testing her resolve. "Turn back," someone shouted from the village. But Mira kept going. Because if the hollow light was real, and if it was fading, then someone had to find it. Chapter 3. The Door Beneath the Roots. The forest at night was different from the forest by day. Shadows stretched longer. The air hummed softly. And between the roots of the oldest oak tree in Alderwyn, Mira noticed something she had never seen before. A faint shimmer. She knelt, brushing aside wet leaves. Beneath the roots was a small archway of twisted wood and stone. It had always been there, hidden by moss and time. Now it glowed softly. Mira hesitated only a moment before stepping inside. The air changed instantly, warm, still, and glowing with silver light. She found herself in a vast underground hollow. Crystals lined the curved walls like stars frozen in stone. In the center stood a pool of light, not water, not fire, but something alive. The hollow light. But it was dim. Where once it must have shone brilliantly, it now flickered weakly. And beside it stood a tall figure cloaked in shadows. Chapter 4. The Keeper Without a Voice. The figure did not move as Mira approached. It was shaped like a person but made of faint smoke and starlight. Its eyes glowed gently, filled with something that looked like sorrow. "Are you the keeper?" Mira whispered. The figure inclined its head. "Why is the light fading?" The keeper extended a hand toward the glowing pool. Within it, Mira saw images swirl. The villagers arguing. The forest trees being cut without gratitude. Children laughing at the old stories. Lanterns replaced by harsh, flickering lamps. Doors closed to neighbors in need. The hollow light, Mira understood, was not powered by magic alone. It was powered by kindness. And the village had forgotten. Tears welled in her eyes. Can it be restored? The keeper raised its hand and touched Mira's heart. Warmth flooded through her chest. The answer was yes. But not by force. Not by spell. By remembrance. Chapter 5. The First Spark. When Mira returned to the village, dawn was breaking. The storm had weakened, but the sky remained grey and heavy. No one believed her story at first. "She's just frightened," they said. But Mira did not argue. Instead, she began small. She helped Baker Tom repair his broken shutters without being asked. She gathered herbs for old Lena, who could no longer walk to the forest. She planted flowers outside homes that had long forgotten color. Slowly, others began to notice. "Why are you doing all this?" a boy named Rowan asked. "Because it matters," she replied simply. Something shifted. Rowan helped too, then Tom, then Lena. Acts of kindness spread quietly through Alderwyn like seeds carried by wind. And far beneath the forest, the hollow light flickered brighter. Chapter 6. The Return of Song. One evening, as villagers gathered to share food for the first time in years, a soft hum filled the air. It began almost too gently to notice, then grew. The lantern flames shimmered silver instead of gold. Children gasped. From the forest, a beam of pale light rose into the sky like a silent pillar of moonlight. The hollow light was awakening. Mira felt it in her chest, a steady warmth, no longer fragile. The keeper appeared once more at the edge of the trees, visible only to her. It did not speak. It did not need to. The village had remembered. Chapter 7. The Shadows Test. But magic, once stirred, does not return without challenge. Deep within the hills beyond Alderwyn, something else had awakened. Where light gathers, shadow watches. The following winter came harsher than expected. Frost bit deeper. Crops failed early. Fear began to creep back into the villagers' hearts. What if the light fades again? Someone whispered. Doubt is a shadow's doorway. One night, a thick fog rolled into Alderwyn, cold and unnatural. It swallowed lantern glow and silenced even the wind. From within the fog came shapes, tall, wavering figures made of grey mist. Not monsters, but echoes. Echoes of forgotten selfishness. Old grudges. Unkind words left unhealed. The villagers trembled. Mira stepped forward. This is not a battle, she said. It's a reminder. She approached one of the shadow shapes. Inside it, she saw two brothers who had not spoken in years. She took one brother's hand and led him to the other. No sword could have done what forgiveness did in that moment. The shadow dissolved. One by one, the villagers faced what they had buried. Apologies were spoken. Hands were clasped. Old wounds acknowledged. The fog thinned. The hollow light flared brilliantly. And the shadow receded, not destroyed, but quieted. Chapter 8. The True Keeper. Spring returned stronger than before. The forest bloomed in colours unseen for generations. The river sparkled like silver thread. And at the heart of the hollow, the light now shone steady and strong. Mira returned one final time to the underground chamber. The keeper stood waiting. Its starlit form seemed clearer now, less burdened. You don't need me anymore, do you? Mira asked softly. The keeper stepped forward, and slowly dissolved into 1,000 sparks of light. They circled Mira gently before sinking into her chest. She gasped, not in fear, but in understanding. There was never meant to be only one keeper. The hollow light did not belong to a guardian. It belonged to all who chose kindness. Mira walked back to Alderwyn as dawn rose over the hills. And though she would grow older, and storms would still come, and shadows would sometimes gather, the light would remain. Because the people remembered how to hold it. Epilogue. For those who listen. If you ever pass through rolling green hills and find yourself in a village where lanterns glow silver at dusk, if you hear laughter shared freely and see doors opened without hesitation, you may have found Alderwyn. And if, beneath the oldest tree, you feel warmth where there should be none, you may have found the hollow light. But here is the truth the village learned. The light is not hidden in forests. It is not guarded by ancient spirits. It lives in every small act of courage, every quiet kindness, every forgiveness offered when pride demands silence. And even the smallest heart can keep the greatest light alive.